HappiDaze here, and in today's video we're going to go ahead and take on day 3 of the most RNG-based game mode that OPTC has, which is of course Grand Party. So let's get into it. I did change my Free Spirit team to just be a more kind of crazy Free Spirit team, but look at the first opponents. Again, this is just a PSA. When you guys are done doing your matches for the day, please just head to a rare recruit captain and help everyone, as opposed to this match where you have to face an side G5 and G5. The strength G5 isn't really that scary as a burst leader, so we're going to take him on, but still, just make sure that when you're done for the day, you go ahead and swap your GP leader to a rare recruit just to make everyone be able to win. So what I'm basically going to do is do kind of similar strategy to what we did yesterday. We'll start with the slasher team, let them take out everyone and just absolutely murder them. Because of the CD speed for strength this season, we should be able to have all our guys basically go before they go. Worst case, if we have to take a hit from them, it'll charge our burst, and we'll be able to just easily kind of get through that. So no real worries here for this first match. It's more just kind of going through the motions. And if we can end up not having to use a burst here, that basically gives us 2 bursts to use for the next round, which should be more than enough to be able to go ahead and secure victory and at least get that win for the match. So that's going to be my strategy going forward for the next 3 days, is really, or 2 days after this video, is really to kind of try to make sure we can get through this first fight without having to use any bursts, and then we basically just use the 2 bursts in one fight, just kind of guarantee us the win there. So the good news for us is Roger and Whitebeard are going to go. They're going to give everyone a 30% HP cut, which is just going to make S-Hawks hit that much crazier. And yeah, you can see now there's no way they can pretty much do anything with the 3 units they have left. So I'm just going to go ahead and skip this just so we can kind of just get through it a little bit quicker. But yeah, there was no chance that they could do anything to me that would really cause me any harm. And the good news is I got my burst gauge charged as well. So for round 2, we're going to go ahead and use our Free Spirit team. This is kind of the Free Spirit team that we've been using for all the matches in the previous seasons, so nothing kind of too crazy there. And all we're going to do is just go ahead and use our special ASAP, and that way when they go, like if S-Hawk goes, for example, he'll pretty much hopefully charge the special back fully himself, and then we can kind of go from there. So just go ahead and use it right away. So you can see, automatically killed 2 units, which is good. And there were no force outs, so it was pure kills, so that's good to see. Love to see that. And then now we just have to wait for our guys to go. Now we do have the revive on the Luffy and the Zoro, which are huge. That just helps kind of make sure that we won't have too much problems with staying alive to get our, take enough damage to get our second burst charged. Luckily for us, Luffy wasn't the one who got his special locked. So yeah, this should be over fairly shortly. So there you go. Yeah, the strategy worked out pretty good for this first fight. Like I said, the G5 isn't the craziest burst, so that kind of helped us out there. But you can see we kind of got through it pretty easily without too many problems at all. So I think if you have to pick fights, obviously the #1 fight to choose is against a rare recruit. Otherwise, it's probably better to choose the PSY G5, just because he gets a lot of damage by doing damage, right? So if you get damage by taking damage, it just makes it a little bit easier. So looking at all of these teams here, again, it's kind of unfortunate that the strategy isn't there. So I think what we're going to do here is probably go ahead and, how do we want to do this? I think we'll take on this 3rd team here. Let me just take a look at it real quick. Yeah, I think we're going to take on that 3rd team there. Yeah, because I think the beneficial here is that they have strength go first, and with our slasher team, hopefully we can kill them before they can do too much damage, and then we'll be able to use hopefully one burst in the second match. Take the G5 hit and then use the second burst there. So that's going to be my strategy going forward, I think, and we'll just see how it plays out. Like I said, I don't have any worries at all about kind of winning this first match. I think it's pretty straightforward, and then the goal is, hopefully not letting them do enough damage to get their special off until I can get, my special off in the second match there. So while this is going on, I do think it is interesting that people are still sticking with that strength team. Especially, I know that the damage that they can output is kind of ridiculous, but if you have a captain who, especially like a G5 who relies on you doing damage, and you can pretty much guarantee that if you have like a pretty crazy team, whether it's a full quick team or a slasher team, you can pretty much just like stop them from getting off their special. I'm still surprised that a lot of people are choosing to go this route that they are, but hey, it's how people want to do it, and we'll take it. So that's good for us that Luffy was knocked out. Obviously, King and Kuma on the bench are just a little bit scary just because they have the ability to do damage through defense. But if you kill them all like that, it's not as scary, though. Kaido does have a buff if he has less than a certain amount of HP, so I think we are going to have to deal with that. But yeah, I don't think it'll be enough for them to charge their burst, so we'll go into that second match with 2 bursts like we kind of had planned on doing. And let's see if they use their burst now, because they actually have their burst ready. I'd be really curious to see if they use their burst or save it actually for match number 2, which it seems like that's what they're going to do. The downside to that is that unfortunately we can't use our burst first. Even if you were the quickest tapper in the world, you won't be able to use your burst first, which is kind of unfortunate here. So we are going to take a burst straight off in battle number 2 here. But that's why we have our free spirit team there. So yeah, we'll take a ton of damage, which is going to be a giant pain. But with Otama and those guys, hopefully we can heal back and it won't be that big of a deal. And if we have to, hopefully we take enough damage to be able to get our second special charge in this match and use it to kind of clear whoever is left. So we're just going to use our special, like I said, as soon as we can. They're going to use theirs as soon as they can, and we'll just kind of go from there. Yep, so that's that nasty hit, which is unfortunate for us. Now the good news is because we have this is going to pretty much force out a bunch of their people just because he kicks out or forces out psi units. So it just allows us to focus our attacks on just these 2. Hopefully trigger that revive of Luffy. I don't think we'll be able to actually kill them before the force out people come back. That would make it obviously a lot easier if we could. Yeah, they're already back. So that's fine. Like I said, what we're really trying to do now is just survive long enough so that we can get enough damage to have our burst charge for the second time. And hopefully when that Luffy goes, that will pretty much seal that. Nami Kurino will just help reverse specials, just make it a little bit easier for us to kind of survive a little bit longer. Our Luffy's going to go here, which is going to do a bunch of damage to them. Love to see it. So yeah, I can't see a way that they win this this fight here. Like I said, just wait and take a little bit more damage, but there's no way that they can charge their, they have like maybe 10% of their burst meter charged, and they're just not going to be able to do enough damage to be able to charge hit without them doing more damage to me. So we'll see whether their Luffy goes first or we just keep special reverse him so it doesn't matter. Either way, it should be a pretty straightforward victory there. But once again, set your leaders, your GP leaders to rare recruit at the end of the day. As you saw when I was doing the selection of the teams, the last teams are hidden. So preferably, please set your GP leader to a rare recruit that's in the 3rd team slot space. That way, kind of people know what that 3rd team is, can plan their teams and help get everyone get those 15 wins there. So yeah, I mean, there you go. It was pretty easy. No real issues there, and we secured 8 wins for the day. So one more, and we can wrap this up with a perfect score. So let's see if we can't go ahead and do that real quick. Again, unfortunately, we don't get people who do that strategy, is what it is. At least we can see the first two teams, so it's not that big of a deal. So we're going to do the exact same strategy that we just did on that last match. Same exact strategy, and hope that it works out exactly the same as it did on that first one. Like I said, the strength team has a CT, so it just makes that slasher team just be able to melt through them before they're able to do too much. It'd be nice if we could get our burst off in the second round before they got their burst off. As you saw, we ended up having to take that shot in the as soon as that second match started last time. But as you saw, we were able to survive it without too many problems. So if we have to take it, it's not the end of the world. It's just more annoying than anything. So we'll get some shields, which just help. The good news for us is our Roger and Whitebeard are going to go and just give everyone that 30% HP cut. It just makes taking everyone out that much easier. So Sanji's just going to boost everyone to the front, make sure that they can all do their damage, which is good. Of course, S-Hawk's the only one who's ready, but that's perfect because S-Hawk's going to just wipe out 3 units without any problems himself here. Perfect. Yeah, so in this case, they're not even going to get their charge gauge really done. They have Otama who heals, so that's not going to charge their G5's burst. And then it's just a matter of, just killing the units that are here. Yeah, at this point I'm just going to skip. There's literally no way they can do anything to us to do any kind of harm or damage. Now, unfortunately, like I said, our burst isn't ready. That's the unfortunate part there. But it kind of is what it is. I could actually swap out my second and third team here. But like I said, I know I might have to take a hit. So I think I'm just going to keep that second team there. It has a stacked bench in the back, so worst case, if some units got hit out in the front, which is a real possibility, right? But we have Otama healing. We have Zoro and Luffy who have the revive, so I'm not really worried about it at all. So let's just go ahead and take on this match. And like I said, the Psy Free Spirit team isn't as scary as this Free Spirit team. Yeah, you have the Yamato who can do the half stats for a couple units and do a nasty hit. You have the Odin, of course, who can go ahead and do some special bind, which is always a pain. But the benefit of this Luffy over the Psy G5 Luffy is that obviously you're able to kick off your special by taking damage, right? So this team outputs a ton of damage, so it's really easy. If you have 2 specials ready, or 1 ready to go, it's insanely easy to just do 2 specials in 1 match. As long as you can kind of guarantee that first match victory, it's super easy to go ahead and just kind of guarantee yourself that you'll be able to get that. And worst case, if they do hit you, then you charge your burst. So like I said, strategy seems to work pretty good so far. We'll see how it goes in the later days, but it's kind of disappointing so far that people are choosing to stick with the Psy G5 captain as opposed to kind of helping everyone out there and just letting people get the wins. But it is what it is. People can play the game how they want, but it's nice to help each other out sometimes. I really want Yamato. Yeah, okay, perfect. So she can actually do some damage to me. That's really the key. Unfortunately, my burst still isn't ready, unfortunately. Our burst is ready, so we're just going to go ahead and use it here. So 1 unit was forced out. What I really hope happens here is I actually hope they're able to get their burst off, because that will instantly charge our burst and just make it so we can easily just take these guys out. There we go. That's exactly what I was looking to happen. Our burst gets charged, and then we can just go ahead and use our burst to just kill them. So there you go. Because they were forced out, they auto lose, which is fantastic. You love to see that. And that will go ahead and wrap up this match. Help us get 9 out of 9 wins for the day, which is great. Like I said, please switch your captain to Rare Recruit at the end of the day. Help everyone get those 15 wins. There's no benefit to not doing it, except you're hurting everyone else. So just make sure you go ahead and do that when you're done for the day. Just go into setup. As I mentioned, you can't see the last team now, so you want to set someone on that team, like a Rare Recruit, who kind of indicates exactly what that team will be. So hopefully people will see this team, realize it's going to be a Bonnie team, an Int team, and they can team build against that and ready to go. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Change your captains, and until next time, be kind to each other. Thanks.